Hey everybody, Andrew Prashad here from Toronto, Canada for Operation TAP's Technique Tuesday. Thanks to Anthony and Ayadeli and Mike E for asking me to be a contributor again. A lot of people have been asking me about this step. Some people call it a toe third, some people call it a super shuffle. Who knows what other names there are for it, depending on who you study with and where you're from and all of that stuff. But I'd like to give you all of the tips and tricks I have on this step. But essentially what the step is with a completely loose ankle and this one fluid motion, your toe tap will create 3 sounds in one motion. You would hit the outer edge of the tap, followed by the farthest edge of the flat surface of the tap, and then the tip of the tap catches on the way up. This step took me a long time to learn. A lot of people helped me with this step. 3 in particular really helped me out. First person was Allison Topham, Canadian tap dancer, and she was like, Andrew, you gotta have a totally loose ankle, like no flex whatsoever. The next thing, Lane Alexander, actually we were in the dressing room, we were in a show together. So Lane has this whole thing, it's all from the hip, and when he does it, he does this like figure 8 situation. From the hip, he comes in, then he drops it down and out. Using the hip drums, kind of figure 8. Except when he does it, some kind of witchcraft happens and then like 20 sounds come out from his toe. I don't know exactly what he's doing. But for me, I kind of took that and I toned it down. So again, you come in from the hip and then out. In from the hip and then out, and making this like figure 8. The last person to help me was another Canadian tap dancer, David Cox. So what Coxie was saying was, pick it up at the end. So I was trying, I was doing the loose ankle, and I was coming in with this hip, and then Coxie was like, pick it up at the end. When you catch that last tap, pick your foot up. I'm like, okay. So I took all of that. For me, instead of doing this big figure 8, I do a little one. So I still from the hip, but I do it a lot smaller. And I know some people like to go big, and that's totally cool. I'm just telling you what works for me. Try to keep your toe tap and even your foot as parallel to the floor as possible, and as close to the floor as possible. If it's on an angle, then your tap is going to be on an angle, and it's going to be harder for all of the sides of the tap to connect with the floor. But the flatter it is, the easier it's going to be. One other thing I would like to share about it, when you're thinking about this hip, another way to think about it is, again, totally loose ankle from the hip. But if you started almost turned out from the hip, so all those ballet folks with that ballet training, turn it out from the hip. So your heel is reaching out, and then you bring it down, and then as you try to connect the step, your heel comes. You use the hip to sweep the heel inwards. Thanks so much for giving me a second to share with you. Hopefully whatever I talked about today can help you get the step, and it's something you can play with, or if you already have it, maybe you can get it a little more consistently or whatnot. Thanks so much. Share your haircut, and I'll catch y'all later.